3 months had passed since the historic meeting between humanity and the Galactic Council. The galaxy was no longer the same place it had been before humans arrived. Captain Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of the exploration ship New Dawn, watching as his mixed crew of humans and Zephyrians worked together to map a previously unknown star system. The cooperation between the two species had become so natural that it was hard to remember when they had been strangers. "Captain, we are detecting signs of an ancient civilization on the third planet," reported Lieutenant Kira, a Zephyrian navigator whose blue feathers shimmered with excitement. "The ruins look like they are at least 50,000 years old. Any signs of current inhabitants?" Hyunwoo asked. "Negative, but there are some very interesting energy readings coming from the planet's core," answered Dr. Elena, a human archaeologist. "This could be the discovery of the century." Hyunwoo smiled. 6 months ago, humans and Zephyrians had never met. Now they were exploring the galaxy together as equal partners. The Galactic Cooperation Initiative had made such partnerships possible throughout the explored galaxy. Meanwhile, at Nexus Prime, the Galactic Council was voting on Resolution 2847. The debate had lasted for weeks, but the outcome was no longer in doubt. All in favor of recognizing humanity as a major galactic power with full territorial and political rights, announced Supreme Counselor Changmin. The vote was closer than human supporters had hoped, but it passed. Humanity was now officially recognized as an equal to the ancient civilizations that had ruled the galaxy for millennia. Ambassador Jin Young watched the vote from the observation gallery. Beside him sat Director Mijin, who had been appointed to run the new Galactic Technology Exchange. The program had been humanity's idea, but the Council had embraced it enthusiastically once they saw the benefits. "Congratulations, Ambassador," said Counselor Yunsu, approaching them after the vote. "Your people have achieved in months what most species take centuries to accomplish." "We had help," Jin Young replied diplomatically. "The Council's knowledge and experience have been invaluable in helping us understand galactic civilization." It was true, though perhaps not in the way Yunsu expected. Human scientists had studied Council technology and methods not to copy them, but to understand how to improve them. The result had been advances that benefited everyone. The Galactic Technology Exchange had become the most successful program in Council history. Species from across the galaxy were sharing knowledge and innovations at an unprecedented rate. The humans had contributed faster than light communication, improved medical technology, and more efficient energy systems. In return, they had learned about quantum mechanics, biological engineering, and sustainable planetary development. "The humans have a saying," Mijin explained to Yunsu. "A rising tide lifts all boats. When one species advances, everyone benefits if we work together." At the edge of the galaxy, Admiral Junho commanded a fleet unlike any seen before. Human ships flew alongside vessels from 6 different species, all working together to confront an ancient threat that had plagued the galactic rim for thousands of years. The Void Hunters were creatures of living energy that consumed entire star systems. For millennia, they had been contained but never defeated by Council forces. Human military doctrine was about to change that. "All ships, this is Admiral Junho," he announced over the fleet communication system. "Remember, we are not just defending territory today. We are proving that cooperation is stronger than any individual species fighting alone." The battle was fierce but brief. Human tactics emphasized speed, adaptation, and coordinated attacks. Instead of the slow, methodical approach favored by Council military doctrine, the combined fleet struck fast and hard from multiple directions. The Void Hunters, which had successfully defended against predictable Council attacks for centuries, could not adapt to the chaotic but coordinated assault. Within hours, a threat that had existed since before human civilization was finally destroyed. "Fleet command to all ships," came the message from Admiral Bo-Ra, who was coordinating the overall campaign. "Threat neutralized." "Excellent work, everyone." Junho felt a deep satisfaction as he watched the combined fleet reform. Humans, Zephyrians, Centauri, and even some Council species had worked together as one unified force. It was a preview of what galactic civilization could become. On Earth, President Sun Hee prepared for her address to the newly formed Galactic Assembly. The Assembly was humanity's latest contribution to galactic governance, a forum where all species, Council members and independents alike could meet as equals. My fellow sentient beings, she began, speaking to representatives from 43 different species. 6 months ago, humanity took its first steps into galactic civilization. We were afraid that we would not be welcome, that our differences would make cooperation impossible. The assembly listened intently. President Sun-Hee was known throughout the galaxy for her practical wisdom and honest speaking. We have learned that our fears were wrong. Yes, we are different from each other. Humans think differently than Vorthak, who think differently than Zephyrians, who think differently than the Eternal. But those differences are our strength, not our weakness. She paused, looking around the vast chamber filled with beings of every imaginable shape and form. The old galactic order was based on control and hierarchy. The new order we are building together is based on cooperation and equality. No species rules over others. No species is left behind. We rise together, or we fall separately. The applause that followed came in many forms: clicking, humming, flashing lights, and sonic pulses. But the meaning was universal: approval and hope. Far from the political centers of the galaxy, young Dongmin stood on the observation deck of humanity's newest deep space explorer, the Infinite Horizon. The ship was heading toward the galactic edge, where no intelligent species had ever traveled. As a child, Dongmin had dreamed of becoming an astronaut. Now at 25, he was the chief navigator on humanity's most advanced exploration vessel. The galaxy that had once seemed impossibly vast was now humanity's playground. "Navigator, we are approaching the galactic boundary," announced Captain Park from the bridge. "Sensors are detecting something beyond the edge." Dongmin rushed to his station and began analyzing the data. What he saw made his heart race with excitement. "Captain, there are artificial structures beyond our galaxy, and they are broadcasting signals." "Signals from whom?" "Unknown. But the signals are definitely from intelligent life. We may have found evidence of other galactic civilizations." Captain Park was quiet for a moment. Then he activated the ship's communication system. "Attention, crew, this is the captain. We have just detected signs of intelligent life beyond our galaxy. We are about to make first contact with beings who may be as far beyond us as we once thought the Council was." Dongmin looked out at the swirling edge of the Milky Way galaxy. Beyond it lay infinite space filled with infinite possibilities. And humanity, along with their galactic allies, was ready to explore it all. The Council had once watched in shock as humans began exploring their galaxy. They had called it madness for a primitive species to venture into space occupied by ancient and powerful civilizations. But as Dongmin prepared to guide humanity toward its next great adventure, he reflected on what the Council had finally come to understand. Humanity was not invading anything. Humanity was not conquering anyone. Humanity was simply doing what it had always done: exploring, learning, and making friends along the way. The galaxy had become a better place not because humans were the strongest or the smartest, but because they refused to accept that things had to stay the same forever. The Council's shock had turned to acceptance, then to partnership, and finally to gratitude. The madness of human curiosity had become the driving force behind a new golden age of galactic civilization, and this was only the beginning. Beyond their galaxy lay an entire universe of possibilities, waiting for beings brave enough and curious enough to explore them. The humans and their friends were ready for whatever came next. The human diplomatic ship Harmony approached Nexus Prime slowly and peacefully, but every alien who saw it felt a chill of fear. The ship looked simple and friendly on the outside, but the sensor readings told a different story. The weapons hidden inside that innocent-looking hull could probably destroy the entire space station. Ambassador Jin Young stood in the ship's conference room, reviewing his notes for the historic meeting. He was humanity's first official representative to the Galactic Council, and he knew that everything he said today would shape the future of both species. "Ambassador, we are receiving docking clearance from the station," announced Captain Hana, the ship's commander. "They are treating us as honored guests, but I can see at least 50 military ships hiding behind nearby asteroids." "They are scared," Jin Young said with a slight smile. "Can you blame them? 6 months ago, they thought we were primitive animals. Now we have technology they cannot understand and allies they cannot control." Dr. Nari, humanity's chief scientist, looked up from her tablet. "The solution to the entropy plague is ready to present. Are you sure we should give this to them for free?" Absolutely, Jin Young replied. We are not here to make threats or demands. We are here to show them who we really are. The Harmony docked at Nexus Prime without incident. Jin Young and his small team were escorted through corridors filled with curious and nervous aliens. Some had never seen a human before, and they stared openly at these strange new beings who had turned their galaxy upside down. The council chamber was enormous and filled with representatives from 12 different species. Jin Young recognized most of them from the intelligence reports, but seeing them in person was still amazing. He was looking at beings whose civilizations were older than human history. Supreme Counselor Chang Min called the session to order. He was a tall, thin being with silver skin and eyes like black diamonds. His species, the Eternal, had ruled the galactic core for 10,000 years. Ambassador Jin Young of Earth, Chang Min said formally, "We welcome you to the Galactic Council. We have many questions about your people and your rapid expansion across our territory." "Thank you for this opportunity," Jin Young replied, standing calmly before the most powerful beings in the galaxy. "But I must correct you on one point. We have not expanded across your territory. We have explored unclaimed space and made friends with independent species." A murmur went around the chamber. Several council members looked uncomfortable. According to galactic law, all species must request permission before exploring beyond their home systems, said Admiral Su Jin, her voice cold with authority. Jin Young smiled politely. "We read the galactic laws very carefully. They state that member species of the Council must request permission. Earth is not a member of the Council, so those laws do not apply to us." "How did you access the Galactic Legal Database?" demanded Intelligence Director Kyung Ho. "That information is classified." "Your computer security is very advanced," Jin Young admitted. "But it was designed to keep out other Council species, not humans. We think differently than you do, so we found ways in that you did not expect." The chamber erupted in angry voices. Several species demanded to know how much classified information the humans had stolen. Jin Young raised his hand for silence. "We have not stolen anything. We have read your public laws and some of your historical records. We wanted to understand your civilization before making contact." "What else do you know?" asked Counselor Yunsu nervously. "We know that the Council has maintained peace for thousands of years through careful control of technology and resources. We know that you genuinely care about the welfare of galactic civilization, and we know that you are afraid of change." Changmin leaned forward. "You admit to spying on us, and then you claim to understand our motivations?" "We understand because we have seen this pattern before," Jin Young explained. "In human history, every stable civilization eventually becomes resistant to change. It is natural. But it is also dangerous because the universe never stops changing." Dr. Nari stood up. "May I present something to the Council?" Changmin nodded, though he looked suspicious. Nari activated a holographic display that showed the galactic core. "For 300 years, you have been losing stars to the entropy plague. Your scientists estimate that 10% of the core systems will be dead within 1,000 years. We are aware of the problem," Changmin said stiffly. "Our best minds are working on it." "We solved it," Nari said simply. The chamber went completely silent. Nari continued. "Human scientists looked at the problem for 6 months. We approached it as an engineering challenge rather than a physics puzzle. The solution is actually quite simple." She showed them the technical details. The solution involved using controlled antimatter reactions to restart the nuclear fusion in dying stars. It was brilliant, elegant, and completely practical. "This is impossible," whispered Dr. Hai Jin, the Council's chief scientist. "We have been working on this problem for centuries." "You have been working on understanding why stars die," Nari explained. "We worked on figuring out how to fix them. Different approach, different results." Changmin stared at the display. "Why are you showing us this?" "Because we want to help," Jin Young said. "This technology is our gift to the Galactic Council with no strings attached." "No strings attached?" Admiral Su Jin asked suspiciously. "What do you want in return?" "Nothing," Jin Young replied. "We are giving this to you because it is the right thing to do." The council members looked at each other in confusion. In their experience, no species ever gave away valuable technology for free. General Seok Jin spoke up. "Ambassador, we have reports that your military fleet is far larger than you have admitted. Our intelligence suggests you have over 200 warships." Jin Young looked surprised. 200? "We have over 800 ships capable of combat. But they are not warships in the way you think of them. What do you mean? Seokjin demanded. Every human exploration ship is built to defend itself and its allies. We do not build separate military and civilian fleets. Every human ship is both. The implications of this statement hit the Council like a shockwave. Humans had not built a few dozen warships. They had built hundreds of ships that could fight if necessary, but were primarily designed for exploration and cooperation. Fleet Admiral Taewan asked, "How many allies do you have now?" 18 species have joined the Galactic Cooperation Initiative, Jin Young answered. 23 more are considering membership. We also have trade agreements with 47 independent worlds. And if the Council were to attack human ships? Chang Min asked carefully. Our allies would defend us just as we would defend them, Jin Young said simply. But we hope that will not be necessary. We would much rather work with the Council than against it. Ye Jin, a human anthropologist who had been quiet until now, stood up. May I explain something about human nature? Chang Min nodded. Humans are not conquerors by choice, Ye Jin said. We are explorers by nature. We see something new and we want to understand it, learn from it, and share what we know in return. When we met other human cultures on Earth, we eventually learned to cooperate instead of fight. We want to do the same thing with galactic civilization, but you could conquer us if you wanted to, Admiral Su Jin said bluntly. Yes, Jin Young admitted, but we do not want to. Conquest creates enemies. Cooperation creates friends. We would rather have friends. Chang Min was quiet for a long time. Finally he spoke. Ambassador Jin Young, humanity has disrupted thousands of years of galactic order in less than 1 year. Your people have advanced faster than any species in recorded history. You have made allies of species that we could not even communicate with, and now you offer us the solution to our greatest crisis as a free gift. Yes, Jin Young said simply. Why should we trust you? Jin Young smiled. Because we could have conquered half the galaxy by now if that was our goal. Instead, we are here talking to you and offering to help solve your problems. The council session continued for hours, but the most important moment had already passed. Humanity had revealed its true nature, not as conquerors or competitors, but as partners who wanted to make the galaxy a better place for everyone. Whether the council would accept that partnership remained to be seen. But for the first time in thousands of years, the galaxy had hope for a different kind of future. The council war room had never seen so much panic. General Seok Jin stood in front of the giant holographic display, staring at red dots that represented human ships scattered across the galaxy. Each dot was in a place where humans should not be able to reach. How many ships are we tracking now? Asked Counselor Yunsu, her voice tight with worry. 47 confirmed human vessels, Seok Jin replied. And that number goes up every day. They are not just exploring anymore, they are making friends. The display zoomed in on the outer rim territories. Several red dots were clustered around planets that belonged to species outside the Council's control. The Zephyrians have formally requested human protection from our trade regulations. Intelligence Director Kyung-ho reported. The humans gave them medical technology that cured diseases we could not cure. In return, the Zephyrians are sharing mineral rights to 3 asteroid belts. That is illegal under galactic law, Admiral Su Jin said, her scaled hands clenched into fists. Only council member species can form military alliances. Try explaining that to the humans, Kyung-ho said dryly. They read our laws and then asked who gave us the right to make laws for species we do not protect. Chairman Wu Jin's crystal body flickered with stress patterns. What do you mean they read our laws? They have accessed the galactic legal database somehow. Not just the public parts. They have been reading classified council documents. They know about our military strength, our economic policies, and our expansion plans. The room fell silent except for the humming of computers and the bubbling from Bora's water tank. Dr. Yuna, the council's chief strategist, stood up slowly. She was very old and very smart, and when she spoke, everyone listened. We are approaching this problem wrong, she said. We keep thinking of humans as a primitive species that got lucky. But look at the evidence. In 3 years, they went from barely reaching their moon to having ships in 47 star systems. That is not luck. That is something we have never seen before. What are you suggesting? Wu Jin asked. I am suggesting that humans are fundamentally different from every other species we know. Every other species develops slowly, carefully. They build stable societies and then slowly expand into space. Humans do not work that way. Seok-jin pulled up a new display showing human expansion patterns. She is right. Look at this. Humans do not claim territory and defend it. They explore everywhere at once. They make contact with multiple species simultaneously. They share technology freely instead of hoarding it. That is insane, Soo-jin said. How do they maintain control of their expansion? They do not try to control it, Yuna answered. That is what makes them dangerous. A traditional species would send one ship to make contact, then spend years negotiating before any real exchange happens. Humans sent exploration fleets to dozens of systems and started trading immediately. Kyung-ho activated another display. The humans have made contact with the hegemony's mining colonies. They offered to improve the mining equipment in exchange for cultural information. The improvement increased productivity by 400%. 400%? Hyun-soo asked in shock. Human engineers looked at our mining machines and asked why we made them so complicated. They simplified the design and made it work better. Sang-woo, who represented the merchant guilds, finally spoke up. He had been quiet throughout the meeting, but now he looked very worried. The economic implications are catastrophic, he said. Human technology is not just different, it is better. Simpler, more efficient, easier to repair. If they keep sharing these improvements freely, they will destroy our entire economic system. How? Woo Jin asked. Our economy is based on controlled scarcity. We have the most advanced technology, so other species pay us for access to it. But humans are giving away technology that is better than ours, for free. The silence in the room was heavy. The Council had maintained galactic order for thousands of years by being the most advanced civilization. If humanity was more advanced, what did that mean for the Council's authority? There is more, Kyung-ho continued. 3 more species have requested to leave the Council's economic zone and join the Human Alliance instead. Alliance? Soo-jin asked. The humans have an alliance? They call it the Galactic Cooperation Initiative. Any species can join. The only requirement is that you share knowledge and technology with other members. That is completely against our economic model. Sang-woo said. We charge species for access to advanced technology. Humans just give it away. Yuna walked to the display and pointed at the human expansion pattern. Do you see what they are doing? They are not building an empire. They are building a network. Every species they contact becomes a partner, not a subject. But how do they maintain order? Woo-jin asked. How do they prevent conflicts between allied species? They do not prevent conflicts, Kyung-ho answered. They help resolve them. The humans mediated a territorial dispute between the Zephyrians and the Centauri Collective last week. The solution they proposed was so fair that both species thanked them. Seok-jin looked at the strategic display again. From a military perspective, this is our worst nightmare. We cannot fight an alliance where every member is loyal by choice rather than fear, and we cannot attack the humans without attacking their allies. How many allies do they have now? Woo-jin asked. 12 species have formally joined their cooperation initiative. 8 more are negotiating membership. If this continues, the humans will have more allies than the Council within a year. Admiral Soo-jin stood up angrily. Then we attack now before they get stronger. With what? Yuna asked calmly. Our ships are designed to fight other Council vessels. Human ships use completely different technology. Our weapons might not even be effective against them. We have not tested human defenses yet, Soo-jin argued. Because every time we encounter a human ship, they scan us completely before we can scan them, Seok-jin said. They know exactly what our capabilities are. We know almost nothing about theirs. Kyung-ho activated one more display. There is something else. The humans have been monitoring our communications. That is impossible, Woo-jin said. Our quantum encryption is unbreakable. Apparently not. We intercepted a human message that referenced our discussion about military response. They know we have been debating whether to attack them. The room went completely silent. The Council's most secret military planning was not secret from the humans. What was their response to learning about our military discussions? Yuna asked. Kyung-ho looked uncomfortable. They sent us a message. It said, "We understand your concerns about our rapid expansion. Would you like to schedule a formal diplomatic meeting to discuss how we can work together?" They want to work together? Hyun-soo asked. Even after learning that we were considering attacking them, they still want to be friends. Yuna sat down heavily. That is either supreme confidence or supreme naivety. Given their technological capabilities, I doubt it is naivety, Seok-jin said. Woo-jin's crystal body glowed brighter as he thought. Finally, he spoke. We have three options. We can try to fight them, but we probably cannot win and would definitely lose many allies. We can try to ignore them, but they are expanding too fast for that to work. Or we can try to negotiate with them. Negotiate what? Su Jin asked. They already have everything they want. Maybe that is the point, Yuna said. Maybe they do not want anything from us except to be left alone to explore and make friends. A species that powerful could conquer the galaxy, Yunsu said. But they choose to make friends instead. Why? Perhaps, Wu Jin said slowly, that is exactly why they are so powerful. The council meeting ended with no decisions made. But one thing was clear. The galaxy was changing faster than they could control. And the species causing that change seemed genuinely interested in making it better for everyone. Whether that was wonderful or terrifying remained to be seen. Captain Do-hyun stood on the bridge of the spaceship New Horizon and looked at the stars ahead. 3 years ago, he was flying small planes on Earth. Now he was commanding humanity's first deep space exploration ship, traveling faster than light between distant suns. Captain, we are approaching the target system, said So-young from her engineering station. She was the brilliant woman who had figured out how the alien power source worked. Without her, humans would still be stuck on Earth. Any signs of alien ships? Do-hyun asked. Not yet, but our long-range scanners are picking up something interesting, answered Dr. Jae-sung, the ship's physicist. There are artificial structures around the fourth planet. Definitely not natural, Do-hyun smiled. This was what they had hoped to find. After 3 years of exploring empty space, they were finally going to meet their galactic neighbors. It had all started when the alien probe crashed in the Pacific Ocean. Most governments wanted to hide it and study it in secret, but Dr. So-young had convinced the world leaders to share the technology with everyone. She said that if aliens were watching Earth, humanity needed to be ready. The alien technology was not designed to keep us out, So-young had explained to the United Nations. These aliens are so advanced that they never thought anyone would try to take their machines apart. But humans are good at taking things apart, she was right. Within months, human engineers had figured out how to copy the alien power source. It used something called quantum vacuum energy, which could power entire cities with a device the size of a car battery. The breakthrough in faster-than-light travel came when Jae-sung realized that the aliens used space itself like a road. Their ships did not fly through space, they folded space around them. Once humans understood the basic idea, they built their own version that worked even better. The aliens build things to last forever, Jae-sung had said, but we build things to be improved. Every human machine is designed to be taken apart and made better. Commander Minji's voice came over the radio from the military escort ship. New Horizon, we have company. Unknown vessel approaching from the planet. Do-hyun looked at the main screen. A sleek alien ship was moving toward them. It was beautiful. With smooth curves and glowing blue lights, it looked like it was grown rather than built. Open a communication channel, Do-hyun ordered. The alien ship sent a message in a language that sounded like singing mixed with whale calls. The computer quickly translated it into English. Greetings, unknown vessel. I am Captain Dongwoo of the Council Patrol Ship Serenity. Please identify yourselves and state your intentions. Do-hyun took a deep breath. This was the moment that would change everything for humanity. This is Captain Do-hyun of the Earth ship New Horizon. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship. There was a long pause. Then Captain Dongwoo replied, Earth? You are from the third planet in the Sol system? Yes. We have been exploring space and hoping to meet other intelligent life. Another pause, longer this time. Please wait while I contact my superiors. So-young turned to Do-hyun. Captain, I am getting some very interesting readings from their ship. Their technology is amazing, but it is also very old-fashioned. What do you mean? They are using quantum fusion reactors, but they are not very efficient. We could probably improve their design by at least 300% with some simple changes. Jae-sung nodded in agreement. Their faster-than-light drive is also interesting. It is much more stable than ours, but also much slower. We could learn a lot from each other. The alien captain's voice came back over the radio. Captain Do-hyun, my superiors are very interested in meeting your species. Would you be willing to allow us to scan your ship? We promise no harm will come to you. Do-hyun looked at his crew. They all nodded. We agree to your scan, Captain Dongwoo, but we would also like to scan your ship if that is acceptable. We are very curious about your technology. This time the pause was much longer. Finally, the alien captain spoke again and his voice sounded worried. I will need to ask my superiors about that. No one has ever asked to scan a council ship before. We understand. While we wait, would you like to exchange some basic information? We would love to learn about your civilization. What happened next surprised the human crew. Captain Dongwu began telling them about the Galactic Council, the 12 member species, and the laws that governed space travel. He seemed happy to talk about his culture. But as the conversation continued, Do-hyun noticed that the alien captain was becoming more and more nervous. It was not because the humans were threatening. It was because they were asking questions that no primitive species should know to ask. How do you maintain social order across multiple star systems? Do-hyun asked. What kind of economic system do you use for interstellar trade? So Young wanted to know. Have you encountered any hostile alien species? Minji asked from her ship. Captain Dongwu answered all their questions, but Do-hyun could hear the worry in his voice growing stronger. Finally, the alien captain said, Captain Do-hyun, how long has your species been traveling between stars? About 6 months for long-distance travel, Do-hyun answered honestly. We have been working on space technology for about 3 years. The radio went silent for a very long time. Captain Dongwu, are you still there? Do-hyun asked. Yes, I am here. I am just surprised. Your questions and your technology suggest a species that has been in space for centuries, not months. So Young spoke up. Captain Dongwu, we learned a lot from studying the probe that crashed on our planet. We hope that was not a problem. What probe? The alien captain asked, his voice now filled with alarm. The observation probe that crashed in our ocean 3 years ago. We have been very careful with it and learned much from its technology. The radio was quiet again. Then Captain Dongwu said in a shaky voice, I need to contact my fleet immediately. Please wait here. After the alien ship moved away, Jae-sung turned to Do-hyun. I think we just told him something he did not want to hear. The probe was supposed to be secret, So Young said. They have been watching us without us knowing. Minji's voice came over the radio. Captain, I am picking up multiple faster-than-light signals being sent from that ship. Very powerful signals heading toward the galactic core. Do-hyun nodded. They are reporting our meeting to their superiors. The question is, are they reporting a first contact or are they calling for help? Either way, So Young said, I think our quiet exploration days are over. The galaxy knows about us now. Do-hyun looked at the beautiful alien ship in the distance and then at the stars beyond. Humanity had taken its first step into a larger universe. Whatever happened next, there was no going back. So Young, how fast can we get word back to Earth about this meeting? Our communication array can reach Earth in about 6 hours. Send a message to the United Earth government. Tell them that we have made contact with an advanced galactic civilization, and tell them to prepare for visitors. As the New Horizon and its escort ships waited for the alien captain to return, Do-hyun wondered what the galactic powers would think of humanity. Would they see humans as potential friends or as a threat to their ancient order? He had a feeling that humanity was about to find out. The massive space station called Nexus Prime floated in the darkness between stars. It was bigger than most moons and home to the Galactic Council. Today, something was very wrong. Taemin walked quickly through the curved hallways. His blue skin showed the worry lines that all Vorthak people got when they were scared. As an ambassador, he had seen many crises before, but nothing like this. The council chamber was already full when he arrived. 12 different alien species sat around the giant table. Some breathed air. Others lived in water tanks, and a few were just floating energy beings. They all looked worried. Bora spoke first. She was an admiral from the Sithari people, who looked like giant smart dolphins. Her skin glowed with blue and green lights when she was upset. Right now she was glowing very bright. The humans know we are watching them, Bora said. Her voice came through the water in her tank and into the room's speakers. Our probe near their planet stopped sending signals 3 days ago. Wu Jin, the council chairman, made a sound like breaking glass. He was made of living crystal and was older than most civilizations. That is not possible. The humans are still primitive. Our last report said they could barely reach their own moon. Taemin stood up. I am afraid the reports are wrong. We have new information. He pressed a button and pictures appeared in the air above the table. They showed human spacecraft that looked very different from the crude rockets the council expected. Where did they get this technology? Asked Hee-jin. She was the council's expert on alien life forms. Her job was to study new species before first contact. Humans were rated as peaceful plant eaters with low danger levels. Jiho, a captain in the scout fleet, stepped forward. There is more bad news. 3 of our ships have seen human vessels outside their solar system. They are not just watching anymore. They are moving. The room became very quiet. The only sounds were the bubbling from Bora's tank and the soft humming of Woojin's crystal body. "Show us everything," Woojin said. Jiho pressed more buttons. New pictures filled the air. They showed human ships that were clearly built for long space travel. The designs were strange, mixing different technologies in ways that should not work but somehow did. Our scientists studied these images, Jiho continued. The human ships use our own technology, but they have changed it. Made it better in some ways. Better? Bora's lights flashed angry red. How can a species that just learned to fly in space improve our technology? Heejin was looking at her datapad. Her face, which looked almost human except for the extra eyes, showed confusion. According to our files, humans are curious but not very smart. They fight each other instead of working together. They should not be able to do this. Maybe our files are wrong, Taemin said quietly. The room went silent again. For thousands of years, the Council had been the most advanced civilization in the galaxy. They had never been wrong about a species before. Woojin's crystal body grew brighter as he thought. How many human ships have been spotted? 17 in the last week, Jiho answered. They seem to be exploring different star systems, but they are not attacking anyone. They just look around and leave. That is even more strange, Bora said. Most species try to claim territory when they first reach space. Humans are just exploring? Heejin was still reading her data. There is something else. The humans have made contact with the Zephyrian rebels in the Outer Rim. They traded medical technology for information about our laws and territories. What kind of medical technology? Woojin asked. The kind that cured the bone plague that has been killing Zephyrians for 50 years, Heejin said. Our best doctors could not solve that problem. The council members looked at each other with their different kinds of eyes. Some were getting scared. We need to make a decision, Bora said. Do we make contact with the humans now or do we prepare for defense? Defense against what? Asked Dongwu, who had just entered the chamber. He was the captain of a patrol ship that had met humans face to face. His green skin was pale with worry. Captain Dongwu, report, Woojin ordered. My ship met a human vessel 2 days ago. We sent them a peaceful greeting message. They answered back in perfect galactic standard language. How did they learn our language? Taemin asked. That is not the strange part. Dongwu continued. They asked if they could examine our ship. They were very polite about it. When we said no, they thanked us and started to leave. But first they scanned our entire ship with technology we have never seen before. Did they threaten you? Bora wanted to know. No, they were very friendly. Too friendly. They knew things about our culture that we never told anyone. They asked about our families and our home planets by name. The council chamber was now filled with worried voices. Different species talked to each other in their own languages. Some were clicking, others were humming, and a few made sounds like singing. Woojin made a loud crystal chime to get everyone's attention. We have 3 choices. We can make peaceful contact with the humans now. We can prepare our military for a possible threat. Or we can wait and see what they do next. I vote for peaceful contact, Taemin said. If they wanted to hurt us, they could have attacked Captain Dongwu's ship. I disagree, Bora said, her lights flashing. A species that can advance this fast is dangerous. We should be ready to defend ourselves. Heejin looked up from her datapad. There is one more thing. The humans are not just in space anymore. They have built stations around several asteroids and are mining resources. They are planning to stay. How long until they could reach our core worlds? Woojin asked. Jiho did quick calculations on his computer. At their current speed of expansion. Maybe 6 months. The room exploded in noise again. 6 months was no time at all in galactic terms. Most council decisions took longer than that to make. We must send the first contact fleet to their homeworld immediately, Woojin decided. We will make peaceful contact before they spread any further. And if they refuse our contact? Bora asked. Then we will learn what kind of species we are really dealing with, Woojin answered. As the council meeting ended, Taemin walked to the big window that looked out into space. Somewhere out there, humans were flying between the stars. A species that should have been centuries away from space travel was now exploring the galaxy. He wondered if the council was about to make first contact with a new friend or a new enemy. Either way, the galaxy was about to change forever.